start.
Mm.
I express my thanks for many valuable suggestions that have been put forth. I agree on many of the points that have been raised, and I will try to explain how the present government has already tried to implement some of the points and is proposing to implement some others which have been raised during this debate. In the beginning, I shall try to indicate the broad policies, and towards the end, I shall deal with some of the specific points. An effort was made to paint a picture that there is no difference whatsoever between the educational policy of the present government and that of the previous government. If some care would have been taken to listen to the debate which took place on earlier occasions and also to go through the reports, the matters would have been quite clear. Still, I will spell out the difference. In fact, we are at the threshold of a big change in our educational policy, and we have already taken a big leap in this direction. The effort is to place our education in proper perspective. There is a lot of illiteracy in our country, and it is our constitutional responsibility that we should make education for all children up to the age of 14 years free and compulsory. Unfortunately, we have not done so, and the result is not only children in large numbers, but those who were children and are now adults are illiterate, and their numbers runs into several crores. Some of those who participated in the debate have expressed concern over this. We are also equally concerned about this. Therefore, at the earliest possible opportunity, I made a statement indicating the priorities of this government. This change of priorities will make it unambiguous at once how our policy is different from that of the previous government. Our priority would be universalization of primary education, non-formal education for dropouts and others who could not be brought for economic and various other reasons within the formal system, and to start a big program for adult education. These are the issues that we have decided to tackle, and pursuant to that, we have been taking steps. I would like to indicate what steps we have taken and what steps we are going to take so as to broad based education, which is dependent upon the universalization of primary education. We have to bring before the next 5 year plan more than the 3 crores of our children who do not go to schools into the educational fold. Part of them will be taken under the formal system and the remaining under the non-formal system. In case of any spillover, they will be taken care of the next year under the plan. For this purpose, some more schools are required to be opened, and newer type of policy for our primary education system has to be evolved to improve the child retention in the schools. It is not simply universal admission, but universal retention, which is also one of the most important points. We have therefore indicated in our plan programs number of measures which we will initiate. In addition to opening of more and more schools for those less fortunate children who are not in our school system, we are embarking upon a massive adult education drive. We have already set up the National Adult Education Board. I met the representatives of all political parties, students, teachers, trade unions, and various other bodies to enlist their unstinted support for this gigantic program. You will be pleased to know that in the previous plan, not so much emphasis was laid on education. After our discussion with the Planning Commission, sizable amounts were allocated for education, and it was also agreed that more funds will be made available depending upon the results. Is this not a major change in the policy? Illiteracy has been a shame which has been perpetrated on us all these years. Rural areas and poor sections of the community were subjected to utter neglect. The scheduled castes and the scheduled tribes were also neglected. They were not given even the minimum education that is required. We have slashed our allotment for higher education in the first 2 years and stepped it up for elementary education. We want to give education to the downtrodden who were oppressed and suppressed for centuries. This is the policy change that we have contemplated so as to bring about an intellectual awakening throughout the country.
The